Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Desire Dialogues, where we dive into all the fun things around sex, love, relationships. And today we have a very, very special guest, and I'm so excited to get to know her more as you get to know her more through this episode. Today we're going to speak with Michelle A. Burke. She's going to bring the heat. She is an international best-selling author, powerhouse, speaker. So just get ready to listen to her speak. And I just can't wait to be moved. So I'm really excited for this one. She has an unapologetic voice behind her own podcast called Wine, Whiskey, and Life and Truth on Fire. So raw conversations is what she does as myself. So I'm really excited. We're going to light a fire under the status quo with Michelle's help today. She's going to turn chaos into clarity and stagnation into bold action. So we got no fluff, no filters, and no bullshit here with my friend Michelle. I can't wait to share with you too Michelle's book, Hot Mess Magic, Hot Mess Magic. And we're going to link some fun stuff so you can get in contact with her at the end of our show. It'll be down in our show notes because I'm going to know, I have a feeling you're going to want to get to know her a little bit better. And today's topic is going to dive into some dark femme. So my friends, welcome with me. Hi, Michelle. How are you tonight?
Hey, Lauren, thanks for having me. I'm great.
Thank you.
Excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so pleased, and thank you for your time. So we connected on the internet, and you blew me away right away with some comments about dark femme and female empowerment. And I am really interested. Would you care to share with my followers and our listeners today what dark femme is all about to you?
So, dark femme to me is all about being unapologetic.
Ooh,
Being who you truly are, owning it, and not giving a flying fuck what anyone else thinks. It's having that true confidence, that true power, walking into that room and there's a presence to you. And you know what I'm talking about here. You know
oh,
that there are certain people that walk into a room and you're like, oh, like you could be in a complete conversation with someone. Like you both pause and you're like, oh, so and so is here.
yeah, you feel it,
You
right?
feel it, like the
Yeah.
whole dynamic in the room shifts. And if we're trying, if you're trying to think of someone like off the top of your head, I like to use, oh, Beyonce or Jennifer Lopez, like as those examples, because they bring it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a powerful energy.
Exactly. It's a powerful energy. It's not hiding who you are. Like we live in this world of filters and facades.
Yes.
Exactly. Gag me. It's like, but we live in this world because as women, we've been taught to play small. We've been taught to, not be too big, to not express ourselves. Or when we do start to express ourselves, it's, well, why are you being such a bitch?
Mm,
It's like, no, I'm not being a bitch. I'm speaking my truth. Why are you being such a little baby and can't handle what I'm saying?
amen.
It's like you trigger, like what you said triggered something in them and they don't know how to react to it.
And that's on them. That's their
Exactly.
story to unpack. And being a powerful, unapologetic force can make others just so uncertain because maybe they just haven't reached that spot yet. And I hope they do, and it sounds like you have done a lot of work to show up as your authentic self. And it shows just the way you're on this video, just owning it. And it shows. And is there any lessons that you would want to share? I imagine it wasn't always too easy to be
Oh, good.
unapologetic and big. Would you share at all?
So, yeah, I mean, I have dimmed my light for years. Or I would let my light shine and then I would start to scare myself.
Mm,
Which is a lot of the time when we have, this fear of failure. It's not really the fear of failure that we have. It's the fear of success. It's the fear of getting it and then losing it that we have. We just think that it's, oh, I'm afraid of failing.
Yeah.
So we continue to play small. So one of the things that I did was, and actually it was something that I did this year actually, where I'm like, okay, I keep going big and then pulling myself back and going big and pulling myself back. Sometimes it's the pulling back of like where I'm at, and it's like, all right, like I'm ready, but I'm not ready, or not also feeling safe in my nervous system, because that's another thing where it doesn't feel safe in your body. So I had to remind myself that I'm safe. We're in 2025, not, 1825. Like it's safe as a woman for me to be seen and heard.
And that is so wildly interesting because I really do believe that, like, that safety is paramount in women. And 1825, right? Very different story. You couldn't be big. That could, mean your life and so many other things. And even though we've come so far, it's still like, I don't know, would it be like that generational trauma that just follows us around a little bit? That's just kind of still leaning back into our nervous system so we don't fully be as big as we can.
Exactly. And that's where, this year, and it's funny, someone asked me what I was giving up for Lent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I'm normally not someone who like gives something up for Lent because, to me, it's like, all right, I'm going to give like chocolate. Like, what difference is me
Yeah.
giving up chocolate like going to make? Um, but I sat with it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give up being small.
Whew.
Exactly. Like, how much more powerful can we get?
I love it. I
Like,
love it.
I'm
What a
like, that's what I'm gonna do.
challenge. Oh my
I'm like,
gosh,
that's what I'm gonna do.
audience,
I'm
what a
gonna
challenge.
give up being small and playing like half-ass here. And I gave myself permission. So that's what it's all about. It's giving yourself permission to own who you are and not let anyone or anything stand in your way of that, even yourself. So when those moments come up where you're like, oh crap, all right, this feels a little scary, like, all right, it's like acknowledge it, accept it. Don't ignore it. Like, have that conversation with it because it's just your body doing its job. It's your body keeping you safe.
It is. When we acknowledge it, that's everything. That's
Exactly.
rawest and the most authentic you can be with the things that are trying to scare you. That's where true courage comes in, and like that big drive to stand in your authenticity and be big, even though it's really scary. I get that. I get that.
Yeah, and it's, accepting where you're at, acknowledging where you're at. It's like I like to call it the ABCs. It's like accept and acknowledge where you're at. And then like start becoming. Like become that next version of yourself. Start being that higher vibration. Because as you start being that higher vibration, the clarity is going to start to step in. The confidence is going to start to step in. And then, okay, I've got the confidence to go after what I desire.
Mhm.
And then you begin to evolve and embody and feel empowered, you know, because you're becoming her. You're becoming that next level of yourself. It's the ABCs of her.
That's huge. And I'm here with my little notebook because I love notes. The ABCs of her. And I imagine it will probably be like a lifelong journey, but it really is. When you say like envision, do you utilize practices where you're already in, like, your next timeline of getting what you already want in
You
that power state?
Sometimes, yes. And that's, I am someone, just who struggles to be to stay in my body. You know,
Yes.
part of the reason why I also struggle to stay in my body is, my sun sign, my moon, and my rising are all air signs.
Oh, so you're just flying all over the place like a
Exactly.
flag.
I've got
Oh.
a lot of air. So it's, for me, it's first thing in the morning, like when I wake up, I lay in bed and I call back and call in my energy from anywhere it's gone while I was sleeping. Then I return to sender anything and everything that I've picked up while I was sleeping, because God only knows where we've gone when we're sleeping.
Exactly. Plenty of places to travel.
Exactly. And then I ground myself, and I take those few grounding breaths and I just ground myself. I anchor myself, above and below. So this way it's that constant, connection.
Mm.
And then I kind of just feel a little bit more into my body as to like, all right, what are we feeling today? Like, where are we at energetically? Where are we at emotionally? Where are we at physically, mentally, spiritually? And then I'll get out of bed and I'll make my cup of tea and I'll grab my journal and I'll sit there with my cup of tea. Sometimes I'll journal. Sometimes I might start journaling, get something that comes to me, and it's like, oh, wait a second. Oh, and I'll open up my phone and I'll, do a quick search on, whatever it was that like came to me, or I'll start like typing it out on my phone because it's something that's going to be like a great, post. And it's like, well, it's easier just to type this out on my phone than to write it out on, in my journal and then type it out later on.
Very true. Yeah.
Um, just really listening to my body. So that's the other thing where it's like, all right, if I don't feel safe, like if something doesn't feel safe, it's like, all right, what about this doesn't feel safe? So
Absolutely.
it might be doing, a quick, breath work, or a quick meditation or a quick clearing, something of that nature, just to like move that energy. I'm
It
always
gets
just
done.
tuning in first thing in the morning to my body.
And I think a lot of my listeners, as well as myself, I have struggled to feel grounded for so many years. I don't really think I've truly, grasped it yet completely. But what you're really explaining too is that the somatics of it, tuning into your body, into all the different senses, and acknowledging where there's any, icky or, stagnant energy in there. And it is such a beautiful practice for independence, for staying in your feminine energy too. And then also, it can be a very good practice to make sure you're not taking on your partner's energy when you are in like a romantic relationship as well. It's calling back your energy too. I actually have a very wise woman in my life who does the same exact practice. At night, she calls back all the
Hmm.
energy, and in the morning, she calls the same.
Yep.
Sends back the energy that doesn't
Yep.
really belong with her, and it's such a beautiful practice, and it just makes so much sense. And I absolutely love that you're into this too. I love the little woo woo of all these things, because it's just, life is very energetic. Sexual energy is the most potent of all energy too. So
Well, yes, because of the sacred energy exchange. So, oh, and
absolutely.
that's even within that and what you had said before as to your partner's energy and all of that. I have, and I can share it, with you to add in the show notes.
Please.
I have a boundaries meditation that. Yes,
Yeah.
I have a boundaries meditation that I do at least once a week. Oh, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, but on average, about once a week, where it goes through 7 different layers. So the first being yourself, then your partner, no, I'm sorry, yourself, your partner, beloveds, close friends, acquaintances, and strangers.
Wow.
So basically, you open up the doors to each level and you escort everyone out to stranger. And you close each door in the process, and you actually get to sit in your own energy because you've got everyone out here.
Yeah.
And then once you're ready, and I have a tendency to do this at night when I'm going to bed. So I have a tendency to open up all the doors, escort everyone out to stranger, and then fall asleep.
Yeah.
Um,
I love it. I mean, it sounds very relaxing because
it
it's
is
you're
because
holding
you're
all
like,
these other people's energies in, and it's just you want to be with yourself when you fall asleep. You don't need any
ex
extra stuff that you didn't mean to carry.
exactly. And then going back through and starting with yourself and setting where you want your energetic boundary to be. And for moms, age-wise for a child, I say age 2, up to age 2 can go in your personal boundary
Okay.
because they still rely on you heavily.
Very much so.
Oh, yes, a 3-year-old still relies on you, but you can let a 3-year-old sit for a few minutes, by themselves. They can occupy themselves a little bit more than, a 2-year-old can. Oh, but your 8-year-old is in beloveds.
Yeah.
Okay, your 5-year-old is in beloveds. So setting that energy, setting that boundary. Then, going to partner, opening escorting your partner to the door, opening it, escorting your partner in. If you're someone who is single, I have the whole thing in the meditation of, connecting with the energy of the, individual that you want to be with and escorting that in.
Ooh, it sounds so powerful. I'm so excited.
And closing the door and then going through, each level again, kind of doing the similar process. But then when I get down to acquaintances, oh, when I'm calling in, those individuals, when I'm opening the door to escort those in, I'm also escorting in people like yourself.
Yes, I was just thinking that. I was like, oh, this is exactly what you did on that post. I knew
Ok-
it.
Okay, where it's calling, you know, inviting in those people that are going to provide you with the opportunities, the clients, whatever it is that you're trying to cultivate, the connections that you're trying to make, you know, calling those people in under, acquaintances. And then as you get to know that individual, of course, they might shift as to the boundary that they fall within. And this is the other thing that you can do for people that, you're no longer resonating with. It's like that ex of yours that just can't seem to realize that the relationship is over, can't get the hint already, keeps hitting you up for that booty call. It's like, dude,
Oh,
like you're in stranger right now.
so many of us, I am sure, and those who are listening, really have to check in with those boundaries and you get better. Some people are great at it right away, right?
Yes.
I not so much with the one night stands or the ex-boyfriends, those boundaries, where do you want them to be? And this sounds like an incredibly beautiful, insightful practice to really check in with yourself and those around you to just best, amplify your energetic field and what you want that to look like. And wow, seriously, that's really
Yeah. And once you know like the process, you can do it in 5 minutes.
ooh, fast and easy. And
It's fast and easy. Like once you get the hang of it, it's like, okay, quick, easy. So it's one of those things like if you're going to a party, you can do like quick, easy before you walk in the door or as you're driving there.
oh, I love it. I love it. So when it comes to this work and energy and owning your dark femme, when do you think it was that you stepped into this power and started this journey to share what you do and how you can help others? When did that start?
I've always been a problem solver.
Mm,
As a kid, my brother would always come to me, Shell. It's like, what now? In elementary school, I was the one, that when friends having those catty, girl drama through elementary school, middle school, high school, like I was the one who everyone turned to because I have this innate ability where I can see the beauty in the broken, the magic in the mess, and the clarity in the chaos. So it's an energy that I've always sort of been in, but sometimes yeah, sometimes it was too big for others and I shrunk myself.
yeah.
You know, or being, so many of us as women are guilty of doing what I'm about to say, where we realize that we're too much for our partner,
Yeah.
where we're not aligned there, and you shrink yourself to try to make it work, but in actuality, you're only making it worse.
Yeah.
Because you're not happy because you're not being, your full self. You're putting an aspect of yourself in the closet.
And this is such a big problem, and not problem, but it's a struggle. I mean, it is problem solver, Michelle, you are. And it's one of those things. It's how do you solve that? Well, you don't make yourself small.
You
Yeah.
don't make yourself small. It's if you're too much for that individual, then you're too much for that individual.
Exactly.
You're not, we're not one size fits all.
Yeah.
Because, even one size fits all doesn't fit all.
It doesn't. It definitely doesn't, which is why you have, 2, 4, 6, 8, the sizes. And
Exactly.
yeah. And what if the one size fits all? It has to be in one category, the healed and energetically aware, and then those who aren't, right? Could be maybe something along those lines.
Yeah. So it's, I realize it's like, okay, I'm not your cup of tea. That's okay.
Yeah. So for those of my listeners who may be stepped out right now, maybe like in the closet, feeling a bit small in their partnership, whether it's a new one or a long-term one where maybe they've had kids and they put themselves energetically on the back burner. What would be a good small first step for people to really step into their dark femme? That's
Acknowledge
a
where
big
you're at.
question.
It's a big
That's a big
question. I'm gonna go with, the first thing that came to me was acknowledge where you're at. Acknowledge where you're at, and I say that in acknowledging everything that you're feeling. Like grab the journal, pour the glass of wine,
question.
oh, sit, light the candle, create, this nice little ritual space, for yourself. Turn on whatever type of music, you're feeling. If you're even feeling music at all, and just get honest with yourself.
Mm.
And getting honest with ourselves is one of the hardest things to do. That's why I also said pour yourself the glass of wine.
Exactly.
All right.
I
'Cause
highly recommend the wine to go with looking inward and also shadow work and all that juicy, good inner stuff.
exactly. So it's, just acknowledging where you're at, what you're truly feeling. Where are you settling where you're like, I thought I was done with this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and from there, then you can start taking those just small little steps each, each day or each week, just to start moving yourself that little bit further. Start reclaiming, who you are.
I have a lot of clients that really don't feel in touch with that part. And it is a reclaiming and you have to do it with intention. And I know it sounds like people like me and you are kind of there to kind of guide that journey, which can be a little tricky and uncertain. unless you have the direction. So when you're acknowledging where you want to go, they get that direction. And that is a beautiful first step. Thank you, Michelle. I don't want to give away all the secrets.
Yeah, and um, I someone had given it to me the other day, this really massive ChatGPT prompt.
Yeah.
And I put it in and I sat there and I actually responded to ChatGPT with fuck you and went, ooh, I triggered you. And I'm like, you triggered me on some level. Yes. On the other level, it's like my ChatGPT knows me a little bit better than I realized it did. So that's even another thing where if you've formed that, quote unquote connection with your ChatGPT and you don't feel fully comfortable
Mm,
really sitting there and writing it, because because sometimes when we're writing, journaling, we continue to play small. We're not fully honest, with ourselves. Oh, I will see if I can find the prompt and send it to you. Um, because it was a really good prompt and it just, wrote it all out. And then another one that I did was, um, oh, what do I desire that I'm too afraid to admit that I desire?
what a question.
Exactly. And I fed that to ChatGPT. And
So
it was spot on. So this is what I'm saying. If your ChatGPT knows you, like you can, use it for certain things just to help you hit that ground, to start laying the foundation and then start doing the work off of that because it's going to tell you what to do.
it absolutely is. And for those who do not know what ChatGPT is, I absolutely love it. And I'm going to do this tomorrow, Michelle, because it does know you. You're talking into it, you're constructing emails, you're making content. It's, oh my goodness, that's such a brilliant idea. Allowing that to kind of ask you the questions that you may not be able to kind of ask yourself right out the gate, with it.
Exactly. Or but as you're answering, like as you're writing it, you're still playing small in your answers. And that's what I was doing as I was writing it out for myself because I was journaling. And
Yeah,
that's when it came to me, you know, I had that clear message of pop that into ChatGPT. And I was like, what? No, I'm going to write this all out. And it was no, pop it into ChatGPT. And I was like, okay, I've never done my journaling or inner work in ChatGPT before. Okay, but let's go.
exactly. Oh, I love it because ChatGPT will not let you play small. There aren't
No,
emotions there. Oh, I love it. Okay, that is brilliant. Very good. Okay, Michelle, can I ask you if there is a way to still really honor your dark femme, your energy, when you're in a relationship where there is no sex or no intimacy? Can you gather the femininity from the bottom of the souls and just maybe try to transform it? Because feminine energy is pretty strong if you want it, right? If you desire those.
yeah, it's just who you are. So it doesn't need to be a sexual relationship. You can still own that, dark femme, energy with your parents.
True, authentic.
Just being that authentic self, being, confident, owning who you are. Not filtering, not filtering yourself.
And that's the thing, not filtering it for any type of relationship you are in is the biggest honor for your dark femme. Is that right?
Yeah, because so many times we feel that we need to filter ourselves for our parents, or we grew up hearing, well, if you wouldn't say it to your grandma, don't say it at school, or don't, say it online. It's like, well, yeah, but times are different, and yeah, I might not say those exact words to grandma. I might not word it that way. But still, that same message, that same tone,
Yeah.
you can, I don't want to use the word filter, but you can clean it up.
Yeah. Like a little censorship, right? Like
Exactly.
the little blurry dots on things, but still saying it. You're still owning your truth because again, we're not in 1825. We're in 2025. And I know
Exactly.
just being a female and being able to say what you want has come a long way, but there's still, some things that we still need to kind of like accomplish. And I absolutely understand that. And that might be something for us as a collective to figure out, but definitely something individually to do on your own. It sounds like your work really helps with that. And
Yeah.
I applaud you for that.
Thank
So,
you.
Michelle, can I ask you a few candid questions?
Sure.
All right. So, I ask this to my guests because it always fascinates me. I love to put the spotlight on miseducation of sexual health, relationships, and love. So my first question is, what was sex ed like for you when you grew up?
It was in fifth grade.
Yeah.
Um, all of all of the boys went down to the library, I want to say.
Okay.
And all of us girls stayed in the classroom.
Mhm.
And we kind of had, that, talk as to, the puberty talk, your body, changing, menstruation, all of that. And then, other sex ed stuff, yeah, pretty much was, in school. I want to say like maybe seventh grade, eighth grade, somewhere along, those lines. Oh, but it wasn't anything that was really discussed at home.
Yeah. Very true. And that's the thing. When it's not discussed at home, how do you think it's kind of made us to view sex?
Yeah.
Not very good, right?
Yeah, where it has kind of this, negative connotation to it.
Absolutely. And I think that's pretty stunting. It stunts. Everybody has, sexual energy and everybody is sexual, except asexual people. But
Mhm.
it's one of those things that's one of the most common things about the human race. Yet we're so avoidant to talk about, the anatomy, the logistics, and the pleasure of it. And that is a big thing for me with speaking my truth. And it's something I love to do is to educate people on their pleasure and really kind of take away that we can discuss this
I
and
also
discuss
think
it.
that it is, I also think that it's a cultural thing where, in the United States, we still kind of have this, Puritan mentality, on some levels, when it comes to, sex and sex ed and, all of that. And where in other countries, it's just so much more, freeing and liberating. Or even if you look at the body, like it's illegal for a woman to be, topless on the beach in the United States, where in other countries it's, the norm.
Very true. I feel like we're a bit we're a bit behind. And I think it really all kind of stems with the culture. And you are just so spot on about that. And I love it. I haven't been to a topless beach yet, like where everybody's allowed, but I have been topless on a beach where I wasn't allowed
Yeah.
numerous times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Like love these questions. What advice would you give to someone struggling with confidence in their um, love life or sexuality? And these are usually female listeners, if that helps at all.
Struggling with confidence in your love life or sexuality, you're not alone. Okay, it's something that pretty much every woman goes through in some way, shape, or form. Because especially as we enter into that, perimenopause, menopause stage, or postpartum, where you're standing there and you're looking at yourself, naked in the mirror, and you're like, ew.
Oh yeah.
And your partner might come in, behind you and go, "Oh man, you look like really sexy."
Yeah,
And
and it's crazy.
start kissing the back of your neck, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, stop! Like I look disgusting." It's like your partner thinks that you look sexy.
Believe them.
That should be enough confidence right there that the individual that you love, that you're with, finds your body sexy, finds your body gorgeous. And
It should be. Yeah.
it's giving yourself love. It's giving, looking at your body and going, all right, yeah, there might be a little bit more, down here, or, there might be a little bit more, cellulite here, but everyone's body changes as we get older.
Absolutely.
And it's loving your body for what it is, for what it's capable of.
And it sounds like that acknowledgement, right? That
Yeah.
acknowledgement, and then again with the permission to be exactly where you are and have that be enough. Women just love to like just tear ourselves down, but then usually men are like, like we're gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful bodies.
Yeah. One of the other things that I like to, you know, have people do is grab a Sharpie. I mean, not a Sharpie, grab a well, you can use a Sharpie. Grab a Sharpie or a dry erase marker and write on your bathroom mirror, like, hello, sexy.
Yes.
Oh, what's up, gorgeous? Because it's what you're gonna see first thing in the morning when when you get out of bed. 90% of the population, the first thing we do when we get out of the bed is we head to the bathroom. Oh, there it is. You're greeted with those words first thing in the morning. And we tend to look our worst first thing in the morning. So, there it is. You're telling yourself, like, good morning, gorgeous. Hello, sexy.
Those affirmations are powerful, and it's like creating this like little mantra too of just this is exactly what it is, and I will keep on believing it, even though it's difficult sometimes. Certain mornings it may be difficult.
Sometimes, exactly. But it's also, do you want to wake up next to your partner having them say, oh, morning, sexy? Or do you want them to go, ooh, what happened to you?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say good morning, sexy, please.
Exactly. No one wants the, ooh, all right.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you're gonna speak to yourself just like you would want your partner to speak to you.
Exactly.
And that's very powerful. All right. I have two more questions. Is
Okay.
that okay with you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, what do you wish more people knew about the connection between self-love and romantic love?
Oof.
I know, I had the big questions.
Oof. That's a big one. Oh, but it kind of piggybacks on what I was just saying as to we can't fully love someone else if we can't love ourselves. Because
Oh,
the love that we give to someone else needs to be the same love that we give ourselves. And I'm even a big proponent in saying that the love that we give ourselves should be greater than the love that we're giving someone else. Because at the end of the day, we are who we are with 24/7.
absolutely.
Right. So it's, loving every bit of yourself. doing those small things for yourself. If you're someone who is single, taking yourself out on dates, buying yourself the flowers or the small gifts, really loving yourself, because the way that you love yourself is going to show. There's going to be more confidence. You're going to have more self-esteem. You're going to show up differently because you love yourself. You're happy with who you are, and that's just going to radiate over into your relationship.
Absolutely. And that's why I asked that question because it's always the question I love to ask. I'm like, yes, let's just go a little bit deeper into what you were talking about prior. So thank you. And
You're
it's,
welcome.
and I love that we just keep coming back to this permission, is what I keep hearing. You're giving yourself permission to love you the way you need to be, whether you're in a relationship or not. And that seems really, really important and profound.
Yeah, because as women, we are programmed and conditioned to look for permission.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Oh, yes, master. Oh, yeah, yes, sir. Oh, yes, daddy. We look for that permission, and we tend to look for that permission, from, male figures.
Mhm.
But it starts with giving yourself that permission.
Absolutely. We're past the time where we had to ask permission to drive, ask permission to have a job, ask permission
Exactly.
to vote. We're past that. And I hope this really resonates with my female listeners because it's still just so deeply ingrained. And thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome.
This was such a beautiful, in-depth conversation. And I just permission to be your full, authentic, feminine self, and embracing your dark femme. Yeah, what a juicy episode. Michelle, thank you so much.
Welcome.
So, my listeners, I really hope you loved this chat as much as I did. So, I'm going to put Michelle's info down below into the show notes. You can take her free quiz. I'm going to link that in. You can definitely check out her book. All right, Hot Mess Magic, which I'm really excited to go dive into myself. I will go order that right after this. And I just really appreciate getting to know you more. My friends, connect with Michelle if you want to get into some raw conversations and, light a fire underneath your own status quo, like Michelle has done and share with us today. Thank you so much, Michelle. Is there anything else you'd want to include?
No, that's, pretty much it.
Thank you kindly.